28-11 advantage in rebounds in the second half against a monster-type team. That's effort, and then that seemed like that effort was the springboard to carry you to victory. Can you talk about that?
Well, I think anytime somebody shoots a lot of threes, and they're a very skilled team, the one thing you want to talk about is trying to get them out of rhythm. Whatever your strategy might be, but they can't just shoot shots in rhythm. And then after that, you got to be able to chase rebounds down and just be quick to the basketball. And I thought our guys did a good job in the second half of being quick to the basketball and did a good job blocking out. They're a dangerous offensive team, and when they get you in rotations and they shoot the basketball, you don't have good block-out balance. And I thought we did a better job of not getting into rotations, and then that really helped us on the glass.
Did you, I mean, I guess it's stuff we dwell on more than you do, but, you were 0-5 when trailing at halftime. You're down 7, at the half, I believe, 5, and then they got it up to 7. Just, to finally get over the hump and win a game, especially on the road when you're trailing at half. Talk about that.
Well, we've been in some games where we're down to 1 possession on the road, and it's tough. It's tough to win on the road. It's tough to, those 1 possession games can go either way. When you win, it's great, but when you lose, you really dissect everything you do as a coach and try to get things figured out. But we just try to, make improvements on what we do instead of trying to reinvent who we are. Just trying to do the same things and be consistent. We just need to do a better job of taking care of the basketball and rebounding and getting on the road and getting 5 down. I thought we were fortunate to be in that position, just like we were at Wisconsin. I thought we were very fortunate to be in that position, and we capitalized on it this time and really had a nice run. And I always say it, but things look a lot better when the ball goes in. And we had some guys step up tonight and make some shots, and then we fed off of that. And then obviously our effort on the glass was probably the difference in the game.
Kelsey and Tyrone, they were both defensively, especially pretty good.
Yeah, well, our seniors now have won here 3 out of 4 years, and the 2 games we won before was because guys came off the bench and really gave us a spark. And that's what we talked about tonight, just somebody coming off the bench. Obviously, they're not going to match like Brandon Paul's, point output, but I thought they did a lot of little things, that they defended well, that they got rebounds. Obviously, Tyrone's 2 threes were huge for us, 1 in the first half, 1 in the second half. But Kelsey made a lot of hustle plays. When we went small, Kelsey was quick to the basketball and really helped us get some extra possessions.
Matt, those previous 3 road games, Wisconsin, Minnesota, West Virginia, did you go back this weekend and kind of dissect those and say, here, if we get in this situation again, we can do this better? Anything like that? Or were you just
well, we dissected each game after we played them. We dissected the Wisconsin game before we played Indiana, and we just rushed a couple shots. We did some good things, but we just rushed a couple shots. It wasn't anything intentional where our guys were trying to break out and do anything. They just tried to make a couple plays that weren't there. So it was really nothing more than that. And the second half we played at Wisconsin might have been one of our best halves all year. And we started off 11 out of 12 from the field to start the second half. And I thought, we didn't shoot it that well here, at Illinois, but we did some real good things. But, you can't jump over the fight when you lose those close ones. You're obviously in the game. You're not getting blown out. And, you just got to be a little bit better at what you do.
Did you feel like you were getting good looks, just not making them? And if so, was the second half the best combination of effort and execution?
Yeah, our half, with effort and execution was pretty good. It could have been one of the best halves. You go back and you try to think real quick, but it was pretty good. Our execution was good. Our effort was good. We had some looks from the 3-point line, and you obviously know other teams are going to game plan for Jawan. And if you don't make any perimeter shots, they're really going to shrink in there as a coach. That you're concerned about it. You can't talk to your guys about hey, damn it, make it. They're taking good shots. And so just keep taking, good shots and keep taking them in rhythm. At times we got to be a little bit more patient. He needs to touch the ball a little bit more. But they're also trying to stop that. So I thought we did some good things in the first half. We just didn't have a lot to show for it.
Hey, you mentioned you know how tough it is to win here as a player and as a coach, and you mentioned winning 3 out of 4 here. Does that speak volumes about what kind of players and what kind of guys Juwan and Etuan are?
Yeah, obviously they're real good players, and they've been huge for our program. They've really handled adversity. I think that's what it comes down to. You're going to get in some tough spots. You're going to be in some tough venues. Just handling that adversity and, being positive and just keep plugging and staying together. And very similar to life. You know, everyone has problems, and you just try to keep everybody together, stay on the same page, and work through it. And both of those guys have been great. You know, Juwan wasn't, you know, immediately in our program a big-time player. He needed strength. You know, Etuan was a guy from a scoring standpoint that could really help us. He was a good scorer when he got to Purdue. He wasn't a good player, you know, and he's a good player now. To be able to go through the foul trouble and still come back and get 20 points on 9 shots, I think he only turned the ball over once, if I'm not mistaken. So they've both really, you know, worked hard. They've been good teammates. They've been fun to have in our program.
Why is the high ball screen stuff so successful time and again there, especially in the second half?
You know what? We didn't like game plan we do it every game, but we just kind of stuck with it. Juwan Johnson puts you in a bind. He can make that 18-footer. He can dive. He's quick, he's athletic, and then Lou's very quick. You know, Lou's always been able to handle ball screens and do a good job. His decision-making is just so much better. When it's not there, he doesn't force, but when he's getting angles, he's going to the rim, so you got to honor him. And then we got some shooters in the corner, so we just tried to space them out our best ability. We kept getting it in the first half and just missed it. And so we just stayed with it. And we went to it a little bit more because Etuan was out. We run some things for Etuan, and he was out, so we wanted Lou to kind of break some guys down off the bounce and just try to get him playing from behind.
Matt, you mentioned Lou. How did you think he played?
I thought he did a good job. He, hold on here. He, you know, 10 points, 5 assists. You know, he had some nice looks. You know, made his free throws. That's something for him as a point guard that, you know, he hasn't always been consistent with, and he's been consistent this year. Just running the team, being a floor general. You know, he's got a big heart. And he cares. He wants to see Purdue win. And so a lot of that's been real contagious with our upperclassmen.
Matt, with this win at Ohio State losing yesterday, that goal is still out there. It's more realistic. There's a shot at it.
Right, obviously. Mathematically, you know, they're a good team. You know, if we're going to, you know, make some moves, you know, we have Wisconsin and Ohio State next, so those are big challenges. So a lot of times you need people to help you. Now we have to help ourselves. But there's no doubt that they allow that to, you know, be possible. You still have to do your own work. You still have to win your games. But we just try to stay. I know you guys don't like hearing it, but we really just try to stay on that next game. It's corny, but it's, if you let guys float and talk about a Big Ten championship or the next 5 games, you know, they're getting ready to get beat. And so we had a tough time stopping Wisconsin the first time. We'll have a tough time again, but I think both teams will be up for the challenge.
Time for one more question.
Coach Painter there.
Go ahead.
Coach Painter there in the second half, the effort of those guys, I knew they couldn't hit it. Did that effort help to open up the offense a little more?
Yeah, I think so. I think to start the game, Illinois had a couple possessions where they got multiple offensive rebounds. It just deflates you. You know, it's like, okay, I'm going to play defense for 30 seconds, now I got to play defense for 30 seconds again. And when that happens, I think it kind of wears on you. You know, you kind of, you know, we talk about having a stronger will, but it's hard when they keep getting offensive rebounds and then you're on defense for a minute or a minute and a half. And I thought when we kept getting those extra possessions, that really helped us, and it really helped, you know, keeps them out of, you know, keeps them off of offense, obviously. Go ahead. He said to me it was a hip pointer, and he couldn't go. So that's what he said to me during the game. I haven't talked to anybody else, but.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.